are a lot less focused about rates raising and when that was going to happen. That seems to be, they're fine with that. But they grilled her pretty hard on whether or not the Fed was willing to hold banks to the legal requirement that they have these living wills that would allow them to be resolved without collapsing the economy. And it came not just from the Democratic Elizabeth Warren side of the aisle, but also from Bob Corker on the Republican side. So there's definitely bipartisan pressure that is, I think, raising the risk to the banks that the Fed is going to feel like they have to actually hold at least one of them accountable and maybe make a sort of sacrificial lamb out of them in order to...
Sixth, more credit to more people. Yes, mortgages are affordable, they're just not available enough. In Washington, I'm Scott Tong for Marketplace.
It's been a rough couple of weeks for Reddit, the online message board and news site, and
like banning bullying and illegal
belonging, knowing.
It sounds like both parties are trying to convince
they nearly 0.2%, 18,086%. You're listening to Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Blue Vine. OneCloud, any application.
The CPA advisory and fund administration source that goes beyond the numbers, listening to clients.
Hospitality that is charging people. Right at the top of the list of influential conservative think tanks, and therefore almost by definition, you will find one Arthur Brooks, the president of AEI, at the top of the list of conservative political thinkers. To that end, Brooks has a new book out. It's called The Conservative Heart, in which he shares his thoughts about how conservatives can break away from the usual stereotypes that a whole lot of people have about conservatives. Mr. Brooks, it's good to have you on.
Nice to be with you, Kai.
I need you to do for me is tell me how The Conservative Heart, the theme and also the title of this book, is different than compassionate conservatism, which is the last thing most of us remember.
Yeah, well, compassionate conservatism was a salient theme in the Bush administration, and what it assumed was that
let's
is to be...
almost
you choose restaurants and bars to go to based.
Such concerns missed the point. Way out today from the Marketplace desk of 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. That's an improvement of 0.4 of a second from the earlier model, or put another way, $3,250 per tenth of a second. Why are they offering that? Because they can. That's why.
Marketplace is supported by Progressive Insurance with its Apron Project, celebrating progress and the people who make it happen.
All right, we got to go. Look at the time. The Dow off 33 points today, nearly 0.2%. The NASDAQ gained 46 points. That is 0.9%. The S&P 500 picked up 2 points, 0.1%. I know, Teslas are like $100,000 anyway, so, right? All right, we got to go. Theme music was composed by BJ Liederman. Sitar Nieves is the senior producer. Deborah Clark is the vice president and executive producer around here. I'm Kai Rizdal. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. And this is APN.
Good evening. You're tuned to 91.3 WLRN, South Florida's APR news station. Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening.
We're funded by WLRN members and by the Kaufman-Rawson Group, a CPA advisory and fund administration source, helping funds, broker-dealers, and investment advisors respond to increased investor demands and evolving tax rules. Go beyond the numbers at kaufmanrawson.com.
If you are an employer willing to give a young adult a chance at an entry-level position, CareerSource South Florida will pay their hourly wage. Here's how it works. An organization provides the job opportunity to a young adult aged 18 to 24 who resides in Miami-Dade or Monroe County, and CareerSource South Florida will pay the first 140 hours at $10 per hour at no cost to the employer. You can register your company for the Ready to Work program today at CareerSourceSFL.com or 305-594-7615. Support for WLRN Miami Herald News comes from SunTrust Small Business Banking, dedicated to helping small business owners plan for growth and manage their finances. Available at My Business. two healthy conditions. The mind with the University of more information is the state trust event Tyler von Hart, meteorologist, State University, gave his
they get
have created in
packages offered during this trip.
I've had wonderful relations with them. I think the problem is for opponents to come up with what would be better than this imperfect deal. They've talked about war, and now they bristle.
I do think we have an alternative. We could continue the sanctions regime, and it seems to be completely unproven that the sanctions.
The reason why Iran.
David, let's hear David. If I could finish, TJ suggests they did, which I think they did. Then,
if you do business with Iran, you're going to lose the ability to do business in America.
Reintroduced for the idea of Middle East